The story starts with a hooded figure hiding on top of a castle roof, waiting for all the lights to shut off so he can enter the area and kill his target. But before he could jump in, he senses someone behind him and looks to find a black-haired young boy standing on top of one of the towers staring at him from afar. An immediate chill runs down the hooded man, who thinks that this boy must be another hitman just like him. But on a closer look, he realizes that this boy is none other than the legendary silent assassin known for his overpowered abilities. The hooded man realizes that there is no hope for an escape and he must fight his way through this. So, he immediately runs to get a better angle and throws a bunch of sharpened metal spikes at the silent assassin. Unfortunately for him, though, the assassin is too quick and dodges the attack effortlessly before running straight at the hooded man. The man pulls out his dagger and tries to end it in a single thrust, but the black-haired boy manages to block and deflect the attack with his own dagger in the blink of an eye. They go back and forth on the rooftop before the boy expertly disarms his opponent. The hitman is not going to go down so easy, though, as he again throws a bunch of spikes, which the assassin dodges. But this creates an opening for the hooded man to strike. Unfortunately for him, the black-haired boy already thought this through and slips past the attack, appearing behind him. The hooded hitman starts getting desperate as he realizes that the power difference between them is enormous and tries to throw everything he's got at the younger assassin. The boy, however, stays calm, deflecting and blocking every single slash and strike that the hitman threw at him, even blocking his secret hidden shoe blade. With that, the hitman is left without any tricks in his bag, while the assassin simply stabs him in the arm before breaking his legs, leaving him on the ground. The hitman can't believe how effortlessly the boy handled him, but accepts his defeat as a sword falls from the sky, ending his pain forever. With his competition out of the way, the assassin enters the room of his target, who is sleeping on the bed without any clue of the danger he is in. He strengthens his resolve once more and brings up his dagger to stab the target, completing his mission. Just a little while back, this deadly assassin was a normal, lonely teenager named Akira from Japan who went to high school and preferred spending his time by himself, reading mangas on his phone. Most of his classmates never cared about him, but one fateful day, a sudden tear in their reality happens, and him alongside all of his classmates gets transported to a completely different world in the middle of a court. They all get scared, wondering whether it is a dream or some kind of a prank when an old mage arrives through a door, claiming that the royal majesty would like to have a word with them. None of them understand what the hell is happening, while some think that this is some kind of a costume party. But soon the king enters the room with the princess and welcomes them to the new world where they have been called by a special magic ritual. The king immediately gets down to business, claiming that he is the ruler of the biggest human kingdom, which is currently under the threat of an attack from the demons. He claims that only a hero from another world possesses the true power to defeat the demon lord once, and for all otherwise, they all will be doomed for death and destruction. The mage then moves forward, claiming that they need to find who the hero is and instructs everyone to move forward and place their hands on the magic crystal one by one. One of the excited boys goes ahead first, placing his hands on the crystal only to reveal his status, which turns out to be nothing but an animal trainer. He seems disappointed, but the mage tells him not to worry since he still has the stats far beyond the reach of any normal person. One by one, the students learn their status as some become mages, some knights, and some become healers. Akira notices something odd, though, as everyone seems to have the starting stats of 180, whereas his stats as an assassin are 10 times that at 1,800. Finally, the next boy named Sato moves towards the crystal ball and is revealed to be the hero among them all with starting stats of a 1,000. The old mage congratulates him, claiming that the starting stats of every single person is sealed at maximum 500. But since he is a hero, his stats are double that. This proves that something is wrong with Akira's stats, as his stats seem to be nearly twice that of the hero himself. Everyone cheers for Sato since he is the most popular guy in the class, while one of Akira's classmates pushes him to reveal his stats to everyone as well. Akira thinks about the situation that they are in, and considering that they know nothing about this world or how it operates, he feels like it's stupid to reveal such an abnormal number and he should first get more information about it. With everyone's stats sorted and the hero revealed, the old mage claims that they will all be given weapons and other equipment according to their classes and sends them off to their rooms for the night. While returning back to their rooms, he also notices a hidden camera, which means that these people are monitoring them, which is definitely fishy. He decides to use his concealed presence ability to slip past them. Once in his room, he dresses up appropriately before going out on the balcony, soaking in the fact that he really is in another world. He decides that he should soon start working on getting more information, and with a jump or two, he scales the wall to the top of the castle without breaking a sweat. He looks back at his own insane abilities. He suddenly notices an open window and sneaks his way into the work chamber of the king himself, who asks the princess whether everything is going according to the plan. The princess replies that the kids from the other world don't seem to have any idea about what's happening, and none of them have much magical abilities to be of any issue. The king tells her to keep an eye on them before before focusing back on his work. With his concealed presence skill, Akira is basically invisible as he stands beside the king, wondering how easy he could kill this man right now, but decides against it. The next morning, Akira sits down on the breakfast table with the rest of his classmates who seem to have no worries at all, while Sato, the popular good guy, stands up and gives a cringe about how they all are much stronger than they were in their own world, so they should all focus on helping the people of this world with their abilities and fight against the demon lords just as the king instructed. Everyone in the class echo their agreement with a stupid plan while Akira contemplates whether he should reveal what he has discovered, since these idiots are assuming that the king and the princess are their allies. After breakfast, the students are all assembled in the training ground where the Lord Commander of the Royal Army named Saren introduces himself and claims that since they are all newbies, he would be helping them train, so that after a month they could go down a dungeon and actually test their abilities. Sato immediately rallies everyone, claiming that they will do their best while Akira is still concealing himself and silently observing the circus from afar. He decides to go on his own to get some more information, but to his surprise, he gets followed by Saren, who hands over the class to his lieutenant, Gil. Akira wonders whether his concealed presence ability wore off or has a maximum duration to be active, but Saren simply smiles, claiming that he doesn't need to worry as his abilities seem to be working fine. He reveals that he himself is gifted with mystical eyesight, which allows him to see the difference in temperature. So basically, he is a walking thermal camera. Akira gets on edge and puts his hand on the blade, asking whether they are going to have any trouble, but calms him down, claiming that he has no intention of outing him to the king or the princess. Akira is still skeptical and asks whose side he is actually on, but Saren replies that it's much more complicated and can't be explained so easily. Realizing that he is not lying, Akira lowers his guard slightly and mentions that he wants to visit the library to gain as much information as possible. When Saren asks what level is his conceal ability, Akira reveals that it's already maxed out, which is pretty crazy, but the rest of his abilities are only level 1, and he has no idea how to increase it. Smiles, claiming that he can help him with that since he will not get what he wants from the library anyways. Akira wonders how much to trust him, but he can't deny the fact that the thought of getting stronger isn't exciting. He controls his emotions and asks Saren how exactly does he get back home, but Saren replies that even he has no clue about that. But he knows that Akira needs to grow as strong as possible since he can only find a way to get back home if he stays alive. Akira claims that he doesn't like taking help for free, so Saren replies that to pay him back, Akira can tell him more about his own world. This seems to do the job as Akira shakes hands with Saren, the first person in this world he decides to trust. Soon he starts learning about other races in this world like the beast people and the elves who have their own separate continents. He also continues to train his physical and mental abilities, claiming that training is the only way to level up his skills and get better, while his class also trains separately under the tutelage of guilds. One evening he goes to meet with Saren as he finds a book which he is sure is written by the Lord Commander. Saren grabs the book and smiles, claiming that it is indeed a plan to overthrow the king written by him and disguised as a cookbook. Saren reveals that the king is a broken man beyond repairs who is going to do something really crazy in order to change how the world operates, and Saren can't let it happen. At the same time, he is the commander of the royal knights who have a holy duty to protect the king. Akira understands his problem and reveals that he had the opportunity to kill the king the very night they were summoned here, but he couldn't bring himself to use his dagger. Saren replies warmly that he made the right decision, as just because he is an assassin doesn't mean that he has to commit murders. Finally, a month passes by and the heroes are all ready to enter the dungeons and are greeted by almost all the city, clapping and cheering for them. In the distance, however, Akira notices a hooded girl glaring at them, so he uses his skills to appear behind her, catching her off guard. He asks why is she staring at them with such rage, and the blue-haired girl replies that everyone in the city is hailing him and his mates as the heroes, but she knows the sacrifice which was made in order to summon them here. Akira admits that he has no idea about any sacrifice, but just like an NPC, she tells him to figure it out by himself and moves away. They enter the dungeon where monsters are appearing from every corner, and every single stone seems to be a trap, revealing even more monsters. The students all look tired and weak, while Akira wards off as many attackers as possible before asking Saren whether they should return. Saren replies that they have done well enough for the day and uses his divine skill to clear a path in front of them. Gil instructs them all to run towards the exit, but they all find themselves still underground and blocked by a bunch of monsters. Suddenly, the cringe Lord Sato remembers the smoke bomb the princess gave them, claiming that this will ward off the monsters. So, he throws the bomb towards them, but to his horror, emerges from the smoke. Gil arrives at the scene, shocked to see a minotaur at the upper floor as they are supposed to be much deeper in the dungeons. Akira immediately jumps into action, dodging the blow and jumping on top of the minotaur, stabbing him in the head. But to his surprise, his dagger snaps into little pieces, forcing him back. Sato stays on the ground, too weak to lift his sword, but Akira tells him to stay back as he is supposed to be the hero who defeats the demon lord. Commander Saren arrives at the scene, realizing how bad of a situation they are really in when Akira suggests he use his special ability and leave the rest up to him. Saren tells him that it could be dangerous, but after seeing the resolve in Akira's eyes, he decides to go ahead and cast the spell. Immediately, a huge lightning bolt shocks the Minotaur. While Akira positions himself behind the monster, ready to strike, Akira activates his shadow magic and sends sharp spikes made of pure darkness towards the Minotaur, who is still struggling with Saren's lightning bolt. However, the Minotaur manages to break free of it soon and targets Akira, unaware that he has already cast his spell. As the Minotaur swings his heavy axe towards Akira, his hand is pierced by the dark spikes. Akira pierces its body with even more spikes, and once he is confident that they can't break free from them so easily, he starts pulling it down into the dark abyss under its feet. The Minotaur is swallowed by the abyss and the spikes uproot its head right before it completely vanishes. Everyone is stunned to see that Akira managed to defeat such an incredibly strong monster.